Well. Looks like Hillary could actually become president. It seems Hillary Clinton will just not let her failed 2016 presidential election bid die. Even as we head into the second year, the twice failed presidential candidate Hillary is still pining for the highest office, still screeching "It should have been me" at the top of her lungs to anyone that will listen. She continues to assert that it is possible Russian government's influence campaign during the 2016 presidential race could have compromised the legitimacy of President Donald Trump's election win. The Wicked Witch of the left appeared on her Excuses Tour 7.0 for her list of blame for just why she did not win her bid for the presidency, what happened to promote her book by the same name. During that tour at a speaking engagement on September 18, 2017, Hillary stated that she believed it was possible that Russian meddling during the 2016 presidential race had undermined the legitimacy of election results. Hillary added that while she held suspicions that President Trump had aided or abetted the Russian government's influence campaign, she did not believe that the election result could be scrapped for do-over. She stated, "I don't know if there's any legal constitutional way to do that. I think you can raise questions." Hillary states, "Let me just put it this way, if I had lost the popular vote but won the Electoral College and in my first day as president the intelligence community came to me and said, 'The Russians influenced the election,' I would never have stood for it even though it might have advantaged me. I would have said we've got to get to the bottom of this." Yet even after all this time, there are those, including Hillary herself, that seems to be under the asinine belief that Hillary Clinton could still become commander-in-chief. Lawrence Lessig, the Roy L. Furman Professor of Law and Leadership at Harvard Law School, is one of those people. Lessig wrote an essay for Medium in October outlining a series of hypothetical scenarios that could take place should Special Counsel Robert Mueller find through the course of his investigation that President Trump's campaign actually conspired with Russia to influence the results of the election. Lessig's claims were credulously passed on by Newsweek in an Actual News, Not Opinion article titled, "Hillary Clinton Could Still Become President If Russia Probe Finds Conspiracy Evidence." Lessig writes in his essay, "If Trump did conspire with Russia, the president should resign, or, if he doesn't, he should be impeached. Vice President Mike Pence would also have to either resign or get impeached, which would make House Speaker Paul Ryan the President of the United States." Given that there is no mechanism in American law for a new election, nor mechanism for correcting the criminal results of the previous election, Ryan ought to nominate the person defeated by the treason of his own party, and then step aside, and let her become president. According to Lessig, this hypothetical and wildly inaccurate scenario would begin with the finding of conspiracy by Special Counsel Robert Mueller. It would then follow with the simultaneous impeachment and removal from office of both President Donald Trump and Vice President Mike Pence. Assuming that happened, which is so highly unlikely as to be laughable, then House Speaker Paul Ryan would become president. Lessig then asserts that Ryan should do the right thing and nominate Hillary to be his vice president. Ryan, in turn, would step aside, thus allowing her to assume the presidency. Lessig recently told Newsweek he still believes this is a possibility. Yet, Newsweek is now being profoundly mocked for even entertaining such a notion by even those on the same team. It seems even liberals and Democrats are getting sick and tired of Hillary Clinton, and many of them are saying they would like Hillary to simply take a seat and step out of the spotlight. The left is citing a string of remarks made on Hillary's Excuses Tour as Hillary attempts to explain her epic loss. Hillary is blaming everyone but herself, with the most recent comments directed towards blaming the Democratic National Committee for the defeat. Many on the left are stating that her bitter comments are hurting the party and that it is high time that she and others simply moved on. Journalist Byron Tao of the Wall Street Journal tweeted in response to Newsweek's ridiculousness at even entertaining such an asinine possibility, "What's left of Newsweek is actively making people dumber and less informed and honestly should be unfollowed and shunned for this kind of behavior." The ridiculous assertions made by Lessig have been roundly dismissed as total pie-in-the-sky conjecture and little more than wishful thinking, as many continue to rightly point out the U.S. Constitution and the existing laws clearly define the line of succession, leaving no actual legal avenue for Hillary to take the presidential office, quite contrary to the professor's claims. What Newsweek is attempting to pass off as news is little more than irresponsible journalism at its absolute worst. It is playing on the wildest fantasies of their left-leaning audience by offering false hope to people who simply cannot accept the results of the 2016 election or frankly anything else that life hands them that they disagree with. The scenario Lessig presents will never come to pass and is so highly unlikely one might even dub it a fairy tale of sorts. A liberal fairy tale to be exact. As even the first step with the simultaneous impeachment of Trump and Pence is completely outside the realm of reasonable probability. Even if that were to happen, however unlikely, the idea that Ryan would simply step aside allowing Hillary to ascend or frankly, even choose Hillary in the first place is utterly and completely ludicrous from the outset. This is little more than the desperate tale of those clinging to fictional facts and nothing whatsoever bases in reality, let alone in the modern political climate.